This entitled mum is like a shark in water, and she smells blood. Unfortunately for this poor soul just trying to run a garage sale, it means that they must start swimming to shore quickly. Happy birthday if today's your birthday, and on with the revamped show. I live in a suburban town in Indiana. Our town is about 45% Hispanic heritage and about 45% European heritage, with a 10% other. We're kind of poor, the majority of the town being lower middle class, with some notable exceptions. That darn housing project. What we do have is education. We test higher than almost any other school in the state, so we as a city get tens of millions of dollars that usually get wasted on swimming pools and such. A little background on my first job. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club. For you non-Americans, it's like a mass babysitting operation, but there's homework help. My job was to take 7th hour to bike to the BGC. It counted as service credit, even though I got paid. Swap into my uniform, wait, sign the elementary kids in, take their bags, and then, when they are all there, go to the elementary room and keep them from getting bored and committing mutiny. I was 14 at the time, short for my age, and a real squeaker, but formal as all get out, and eager to make money. Help the community. This story takes place during my first week of work. I was waiting for the kids to come storming in. When I glanced from my seat into the parking lot, the entryway was made of glass, and both rooms on either side have massive windows, so I could see the parking lot fairly easily from my seat. And this Ferrari, a literal Ferrari, in our sleepy town, pulls up into a parking spot. It's 2:30. I had just changed. None of the elementary schools are out yet. As I stare in awe of this beauty of a car, in comes EM and EK. Hello, I'd like to drop my kid off. Is he registered at this or the nearby town Boys and Girls Club? No. Turning back to my book, gesturing to the stack of papers on the counter. Fill out one of those. Take the safety waiver. That's a lot of work. Do I have to? It is a page and a half. It's not that bad. And yes, you have to. EM takes the paper, mumbling something about not my job and stupid kids these days. She fills it out, takes her about 6 minutes. I've put my book away and gotten my supplies out, ready for the first of 7 waves of kids. She saunters over to my desk and hands me the papers. I go to make a copy to give her, as well as put the paper on the scanner, so he's in our database. EM starts to walk off. Ma'am, you need your copy. Sighing and turning around. Okay, just give it to me. Also, you didn't pay. It's $15 a year for our services. I'm not paying that. Ma'am, we provide free access to a snack, computers, a large library, a gym, arts and crafts, and valuable friendships, all at no extra charge. My little kid should get it for free. He's a good kid academically. Internally, I said to myself, he's in 2nd grade. What the heck could this snot magnet have done? Me, out loud, if you register through any school in the hometown school system, they could give you a reduced price for academic excellence. Can't you do it? Just then, you hear the bell at the elementary school next door to the BGC. I had about 150 seconds until Hell's armies would come in, and chaos would descend for the next 5 hours. Old Yeti the manager also walks by, and I breathe a sigh of relief. Hey old Yeti, can you help with this lovely lady over here? Translation, can you give this bimbo the business end of a stern talking to? Just give it to me. EK runs off into the K2 room, not technically registered or signed in. I would love to, but I have to help Chef Johnny make the cereal bars for snack. Translation, heck no, I ain't got the patience for her. Ma'am, I am not in authority to give you anything for free. If you do not just hand over $15, I will have to call the kid's name to the front desk and have you two leave. The gates of hell open, loud, smelly, and wanting to play with their friends. Another employee stops them where the entryway meets the commons, saving me a headache, but I knew waves 2 and 3 were no more than 5 minutes away. Goodness, people in this town are so stupid. I just want it for free. Me, not completely done with it, but almost. Listen, ma'am, I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes signing kids in. Then I have to deal with their crap for another 5 hours. I will almost certainly need to clean up at least one kid who didn't bother to use the restroom. I will likely have to clean a Wii remote so it doesn't give some kid diphtheria or some crap. I'm ranting now. I have to deal with almost 200 immature kids for minimum wage. I will graciously ask add your little pile of dog crap to that list. A prediction of that child that was correct. He was on thin ice for the entire time I was there. But I will not, and I repeat not, deal with an adult more immature than the children. So either pay the $15 or get you and your snot bag the heck out of this establishment. EM, red with embarrassment, meekly reaching into her wallet. Here you go, sir. Thank you, and have a lovely day. She handed me a $100 bill. Just that little extra work to give her change still angers me to this day. By the time Wave 2 had arrived, she had gotten a ticket for parking in a handicap spot. I didn't clear the entryway until after Wave 5, leaving me exhausted for the rest of my shift. The kid almost got banned several times for attempting to harm staff members, namely me, and Old Yeti just died last month, and a memorial to his work now stands in the playground. It sounds like she was getting a pretty good deal, but that's usually the thing with people like that. If they're looking for a cheap deal, then they're probably going to try and get it for free as well. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting a good deal, but if there's a pretty generous offer available to you, and you can't appreciate that, then you don't really deserve the good deal in the first place. Today I went yard sailing with my parents. This is the time of year when all the old folks are cleaning out their homes and putting all their stuff out. I love a good bargain when I see it, and I need books cheaply for my classroom. My school has no library, so we are relied on to give our students appropriate reads. Anyway, I always tagged along to help my parents, but also look for my own things. We pull up to their first house. I have $30, so not too much. My parents have a couple 10s and 20s. Along with my dad's typical pocket of various change. He's in his 60s and keeps every coin he finds. I notice a cute wallet and remember in the back of my head that my Sailor Moon one, that I love, is falling apart. I pick it up and go to ask one of the women there. Of the two women there, the woman who apparently owns the wallet asks 75 cents. So I say, okay, and go to give her the money. I pull out my cash and go to give her the money. The woman starts shaking her head and saying that she can't take my $10 and says I need to buy something else if I want change. I explain to the woman that this is the smallest bill I have. I show her that I have a 20 and a 10. I told her I can't make the purchase otherwise. She gets mad and stamps into the house because she has to make change. I felt a little bad, so I looked for my parents to see if I could let me borrow $1 so this lady wouldn't be upset, but I turned to see my parents have already moved on. I wait for a moment. The other woman sitting out there, I guess feeling sorry for me in turn, goes on to tell me that I shouldn't pay much mind to the other woman, as she is a good-for-nothing cheapskate. I chuckle as she explains more, saying how she finagled her way onto the older woman's property this morning, instead of paying the $5 for the fee to the homeowners association to have her own sale, even though half of the stuff on the lawn is hers. The woman then returns with her wallet. She then thrusts $9 at me, saying, "That's all you get." I know she said it was 75 cents, but just a little annoyed at how rude she is. I just put my money away. She is glaring at me, watching my wallet as if looking for smaller bills. I leave and find my parents walking back towards me. A normal person would think that it's over, but boy was I wrong. We got a few more yard sales when I hear a familiar voice loudly saying, "Don't sell to her, she is going to take all your change." The woman who sold me the wallet is there, pointing at me, to one of the homeowners. The man she is speaking to is about 60 or 70 years old. He looks very confused and says something along the lines of, "Good for you." He walks off and I turn away from this crazy bat. You would think that would be it, but of course not. I go to grab something off the table, but she grabs it before me. I shrug it off and try to grab for something else. She does it again. Finally, I grab for one other thing I definitely didn't want. She does it once more. I roll my eyes. I don't say anything. I can normally be a confrontational person, but I can see she is getting more upset that I won't say a thing to her crazy self. She eventually leaves when she sees us go to another yard sale, leaving everything that she had grabbed there. Finally, after following us to 3 more and pulling the same nonsense, I grab a box of books and go to pay. She doesn't attempt to do anything, as I think she's realized now how heavy the books are. I get my wallet out to pay when she starts her "don't sell to her" nonsense. She apparently did it to the wrong neighbor, as another old woman looks at her with her hands on her hips and says, "Lady, you need to leave my property. I have watched you harass this girl for 3 3 houses. And for what reason? Because she gave you a big bill? Grow up. It's a community garage sale. You're lucky she even made that purchase. At this, the woman goes quiet. I chuckle slightly, and the older woman continues. Now get yourself off my property before I call the cops. You are out of line and causing a whole bunch of ruckus. And if you bother that girl once more, I'm going to call the cops for her. She ain't done a thing to you. She's probably half your age, and you're acting like half of hers. Go on, get. The woman seems reluctant to leave, but gets in the car after the older woman handed her tail to her. The older woman lets me make my purchase. Later on, my mother asks me in the car about what was that about. I recount the story and see my mother is getting upset. She is more confrontational than I am. She is a full red-blooded Italian, and she can take a few verbal punches. I told her not to get upset, as it was already handled, and I didn't say much if anything. It was probably a good thing I didn't involve my mother, because honestly, my mother probably would have been a lot more colorful in telling her what she could do with herself. This is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. She was only selling the bag for 75 cents, eventually $1. She was so bothered that she was wasting her time and taking all her change, but then she spends the rest of the day chasing her around, wasting her own time. I seriously think for these entitled people, it's not about the money and it's not about their time wasted, it's all about their pride, because they're usually willing to waste more time and more money just in a stubborn attempt to try and prove some point. They always look stupid in the end though. My family, mainly my mother, loves Apple products. We have a lot of Apple products in our house, although we're not that well off. We faltered a bit after we moved across country and back, so we stayed at my aunt's house for 2 years. Most of the time we were there, we were back on our feet, but helping out my aunt. The aunt I was staying at was the entitled aunt's mother. Aunt's mother's house is a big part of the neighborhood. Constant parties, people in and out every day, staying up and outside all night. It was honestly a kid's dream come true. Entitled aunt was there a lot too, as spoiled cousin was aunt's mother's favorite. Spoiled cousin had her own little toy room upstairs. We played with spoiled cousin a lot, although she was very spoiled and had a wealthy father. She bragged a bunch and would constantly steal things. She was honestly a horrible influence. My older sister had an angel toy bear the spoiled cousin loved a lot. She would steal it frequently, and my sister would always take it back. One day, when my sister went to get back her bear, spoiled cousin had wrote her name on the back of it. I wrote my name on the back, so it's mine. No, it's not. Give it back. Just let it go. We told my mum and entitled aunt about what happened. My sister was in near tears at this point. She really loved that bear. Oh no, you think we can wash it? Just give her the bear. She wrote her name on it. Can't we just wash it off? I don't think so. My mum just sighed and gave the bear to spoiled cousin. That wasn't the end of the evil they would unleash. So eventually we move out and get another Mac. Entitled aunt was whining about needing a computer, so my mum gave her our old one. Our old computer was still fairly expensive and high quality. There was literally nothing wrong with it. We even went over and set it up for her. Entitled aunt wasn't happy enough. She was computer illiterate and would want us to constantly help her with it. She then decided, since she couldn't figure it out, that it was broken and demanded our new computer. This computer doesn't work. It should. What's happening? It just doesn't work. Turns out that spoiled cousin downloaded a whole bunch of crap and it was super infected. Like, how do you even get a virus on a Mac? Wow, that's a ton of viruses. Why'd you give me a broken computer? It wasn't like this when I gave it to you. Yes, it was. Can you just give me your other one? No. I deserve a better computer. You got me a crap one and got my hopes all up for nothing. I can't do that. Huh. At least fix this one. I don't know how. At this point, entitled aunt devolves into a fit and my mum takes us home. An entitled parent who's a choosing beggar. The worst combo of all. It's just scary to think that there's just another little generation of entitled parents being raised right now. I guess the best we can do is just prepare ourselves, learning how to defend your property the best you can. Submit your story to be read on the channel at voiceyherestories@gmail.com and join our Voicey veteran community at r/voiceyhere. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode. Alright, Voicey veterans, I'll see you in the next one.